When I first connected to Jesus, the two hardest things to overcome was cussing. Don't look at me like that. And I remember after I connected to Jesus, we were playing spring ball. I was still playing spring ball. And I asked my teammates, I said, hey guys, every time I cuss, I need you to hold me accountable, make me do 25 push-ups. I got really strong that summer. So that was one. Authentic biblical and confessional community helped me with that one. The second one was pornography. Here's the deal. Here's the truth of the matter. Studies in Barna would show us that 70% of American men in the last year have watched pornography. So let's start there. The other study is that kids by the age of 9 is the first time on average that they've seen pornography. So if your child has a digital device and they're in here, which means that they're in middle school, more than likely. And so let's talk about it. I was 11 and it was super hard for me to overcome. I had all the apps in the world that were holding me accountable. I had counseling. I had authentic biblical and confessional community. I had everything that you could imagine and still found no victory. I was frustrated, torn down. And you know what finally began to help me see breakthrough is I began to think about Jesus more than my sin. I began to look at the cross of Christ more than my brokenness. I began to practice the presence of God more than I practiced anything else. I began to look at Jesus more than anything else. I stopped trying to break my addiction and I started following Jesus. We cannot obey by trying harder. We don't obey by trying harder. We obey by surrendering more deeply.